Welcome back to the Total Athlete vlog. This is vlog 11, I think. Three things I want to get done today. First is some low rim dunks. That rim that you see there right now is 9 foot 6 inches. I'm gonna warm up for that by dunking, doing the thing to warm up for the thing. Then I'm gonna do some acceleration sprints. And then if I have time, I've only got about like 45 minutes today. If I have time, I'm gonna do some heavy, I guess you could call them block pulls or like deadlifts off of the blocks, off the pads. See how heavy I can go with those, and then we'll call it there. Nice short, sharp session. Let's get straight into it. So I've talked about this many times in the past, but the best way to warm up for the thing that you're doing first, especially if it's something explosive, is just the thing. I'm not going to mess around with loads and loads of mobility work. I'm just going to start jumping and just progressively jump higher and higher as I progress through the warm-up. And as I warm up, I'm doing the most specific thing possible for the act that I want to perform, which is dunking a basketball. So best way to warm up for dunking a basketball is by doing specific approach jumps that look exactly the same way as you would for when you're doing a maximal vertical jump attempt. This hat's going to get in the way, but it's the closest thing that I can have to attach the microphone to. It also very conveniently hides my receding hairline as well, so that's nice. Nice. So we're going to mostly work on 2-foot jumps. As you can see here, my neighbors parked their car, so I'm going to have to be very careful with making sure the ball doesn't fall on their car, and at the same time, I've only got this narrow lane to approach the rim, which is fine. It means I can practice like more linear approaches, or maybe like a short curve. I can't come in from the side or an angle. I could turn the rim to the side so I can practice dunking from the side, but I like it like this. Got pretty close on that one. I was actually going for a dunk on that attempt. So this is like what, 6, 7, 8 jumps in, and I'm already like getting close to a dunk attempt. Granted, the rim is like 9.6.5, but maybe we'll increase the height of the rim today, depending on how I'm jumping. So I've actually figured out that this is one of the cheap rims. It's not particularly easy to adjust the height of the rim. You have to remove the backboard and then put screws in 6 inches higher. But I figured that why not just put some bumper plates underneath the rim, then I'll know roughly what the height is by measuring it. Got a tape measure just over there, so we'll do that if I'm jumping really well. Right, let's see if we can get first dunk in after, what is that, 7, 8, 9 jumps. There we go. I'll take that for the first one. Wasn't jumping super high, but hey, I'm still warming up. My rocket boosters aren't fully primed just yet. So that was a right-left with the right hand. I'm going to go for a left-right with the left hand. So good way to get good at dunking just on a low rim is get really good at doing all 4 approaches, 1 hand, 2 hand. If you can do that consistently, then that's a good sign that it's a time to increase the height of the rim. So let's see if I can get all of the dunks today on every single approach, 1 hand, 2 hand, and then we'll see if I can increase the height. So left, right with the left hand, let's give it a go. A little bit of a rim grazer, but I made it. So we've done right, left, right hand. We've done left, right, left hand. Now we're going to do my worst plant, which is right, left with the left hand. So this one feels awkward because I'm curving in this way, but then going up with this hand. I always find it much more natural to, say the rim's behind the camera, to curve in, right, left, and then swing the arm back, cock it back for like a, well, cock it back for a little bit more authority on the dunk. It feels weird to come in right, left, and then go up like this. Strange. But let's see if I can make one. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Needing to go there? No. Okay, so we've done right, left, left and right hand. We've done left, right with the left hand. Now I'm going to see if I can get left, right, right hand. This used to be my most natural approach, so this should feel pretty good. Okay, we've done all four with both plants. Now we're going to do the two-handers. So I've got two more dunks to do. If I can make these 2 for 2, then I'll know that I'm jumping quite well today, and I can slightly increase the height of the rim, just practice some simpler dunks on a higher rim. So that's good news so far. On the first attempt of every single dunk I've hit first try. So let's see if we can get a left, right with two hands. Okay, that's really good. Left, right with two hands, check. Now right, left with the right hand. No, right, left with two hands. If I make that, then I can increase the height of the rim. Not quite. Not quite. I think I can make that today though. Again, I'm still, 5 minutes in? Still warming up, so there's a good chance that I'll be able to make that with a little bit more, a few more attempts. One thing I'm a little bit afraid of doing in this garage is lobs, because I suck at throwing lobs, and this ball isn't super bouncy. I'm very afraid that if I just throw a lob wrong, it's going to bounce and hit a car, so I'm going to just stick with the one dribble approaches. See how we can do. So right, left, two-hander, like that. Okay, so I've hit every single possible approach with a two-footed approach. That's really good. I mean, that was barely a dunk, but I made it. I take that. So I've done all of those. So now that means that I can increase the height of the rim by like an inch or two, and then I can try my best approaches on that. So the rim is currently 96.5. I've figured out that if I add one of these 10 kilo bumper plates underneath, that is about an inch and a half, inch and a bit. So that should make the rim 9 for 8 if we slide one underneath. Maybe I should slide two underneath. It's not very stable. Right, let me just triple check that that's the right height with the tape measure. So we'll see what height this actually comes to. See if we can get some dunks on it. So that is, I was bang on right. That is 9 for 8 on the dot. 9-8 is quite a nice one because when I see a lot of my favorite dunkers online, you know, like Isaiah Rivera, Tyler Curry, Jordan Kilgannon, whenever they do a session at like an LA Fitness rim, the rim will be about that height. LA Fitness rims can be anything from like 9'11 to 9 for 8. I don't know why there's such variability in rim heights. Like it should be quite easy to measure how high a rim is. My thinking is it's the gym owners who can't quite dunk on 10 feet. They just want to have a lower rim so they can throw down some dunks in practice. Or they're just thinking of short guys' egos, short guys who can't dunk. Let's just lower the rim for them a little bit. Have it at 9 for 8. So that looks so much higher than it did before. I don't know why. Maybe it feels higher, but let's give it another shot. Let's see if we can get a few dunks on this. If I can make like 5 or 6 really good dunks on this height, then I'll be super happy. All right, let's get a right left with a right hand approach. Ooh, that was really close. Really, really close. I think I can get that quite easily. Just timing, and it's also getting more extension on my arm as I go up, but I should be able to make that. 9 for 8, it's crazy. Just an inch higher and the rim is slightly harder to dunk on. Who would have thought it? Okay, one dribble, straight up. The one thing you should know about me is if I'm gonna go up for the dunk, I'm gonna try and dunk it hard. So I'm gonna get rim stuffed a lot of times, but when you make the dunks, it feels so much more satisfying if you're trying to dunk the shit out of the ball every time. I guess where I also can't quite, I can sort of palm this ball, I can't quite, but where I can't really palm it, I have to like cuff it a little bit. So if you're cuffing it and you're trying to put it down, you have to kind of bring the ball back a little bit more as you bring it back with momentum to try and put it into the rim. So let's see if I can get one with that right-left approach. There we go. I'll take that. That is probably the highest rim I've dunked on in a little while, so that's decent. That really is decent. Make sure that this isn't going crazy. I'm falling off of the bumper plates. So we've made a right-left with the right hand. I'm pretty happy with that. The way that I'm structuring my dunk sessions at the moment is I'm doing one session where I'm really focusing on like the best approach without the ball. I'm just trying to get as high as I possibly can and then doing dunks afterwards. So I'm getting like a nice max vertical jump stimulus, then doing the dunks afterwards. And then this jump session, I'm doing as more of a dunk focus session. So I'm really just looking at practicing the skill of dunking, which is approaching with the ball, doing a dribble, and then going up with it, trying to get a yam. So I'm happy with that right-left. I'm going to practice left-right now with the left hand. See if I can get left-right with the left hand. If I can't, I'll probably get it left-right with the right hand. But dribble, left-right, up with the left. Ooh, that was close. That was really, really close. Man, if I had slightly more curve if I had a little bit more room to curve on the approach, I could definitely make that. I think I can make it this time. There we go. Definitely rim grazes on both of those 9-8 attempts. Or makes, I guess. 2 makes, but I'm super duper pleased with that. 9 for 8 dunks, going down quite nicely. So in the interest of reducing the amount of volume I do in this session, I'm going to try and keep the number of attempts quite low and just make sure that they're decent quality. They're all makes. I'm not just like consistently missing or rim stuffing. And I think right now that's the perfect height of rim. So I'm just going to keep doing right-left with the right hand, left-right with the left hand, with a dribble. I think I really like those approaches. They feel smooth, they feel fluid. I think if I can get 1 or 2 more on each approach, I'll cut it short there, and then I'll get straight into the acceleration sprints. So let's get another right-left with the right hand. I mean, what are we, like 10, 15 minutes in here now, already doing maximal approaches? You don't need much time to get high stimulus working like this. Get your warm-up done, and then just go straight away. I'll take that. That one felt like I had a little bit more authority with it as well. Let's try left-right with the left hand. Try and get a little bit higher on this one, a little bit more vertical, and try and actually, instead of like graze it on the rim, actually put it into the rim with my fingertips. Let's give it a shot. All right, I'll take that. So right now what I'm doing is, I don't know if this is called an A march or an A skip, but it's 2-legged hop, 1 leg up, 2-legged hop, 1 leg up, in that A march style. I've recently been playing around with this, and it's such a good way to do extensive plyos. It's super low intensity, but it still works on rhythm, coordination, and timing in the same gait pattern as a sprint. So obviously this is why track and field athletes do this all the time. All right, same again. That probably looks stupid, and I'm sure some track and field athletes, if you're watching this, you can tell me what I'm doing wrong, but it feels kind of fluid. Right, I'm gonna do the same thing. the march style, 2 down, 1 across, but this time I'll do it with a B skip. I'll come towards the camera so you've got a little bit of a different perspective. There goes my shoelace. Downside of barefoot shoes is the shoelaces do come undone quite frequently. Okay. That feels really good on my hamstrings. Really, really like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is a complex of a wall acceleration drill combined with some 2 and 3 point starts and some kneeling starts so that I can really drill the position of my hips and also the position of my torso in those first few strides. So I'll start off with the wall acceleration drill over here. Shout out to Blaine McConnell for showing this on his YouTube channel. I saw this a while back and I've been trying it ever since. I think my acceleration has really massively improved. So I'll reach back. Nice. Same on the other side. Shout out to my neighbors, all driving past. So I'm gonna do that one, then I'm also gonna do one with a switch. So it'll be a knee up, quick switch, knee up, quick switch. Let's do 5 or 6 of those. Really emphasizing a fast replacement of the feet and a nice low heel recovery. So it's like that. Nice. All right, that's primed me really nicely so that now, hopefully, when I do my different acceleration starts, they should feel nice and explosive. All I'm really focusing on here is the mechanics in the first 5 strides, making sure that it feels fluid, explosive, and fast. So that one felt a little bit janky. Thing I often struggle with on the first like 5, 6, 7, 8 strides of the acceleration is when do I start bending my arms more, getting more flexion in the arms? Because those first few strides, I'm really trying to open my arms up to like just get the most extension and flexion on my shoulders. But eventually at some point in the gait mechanics, when you open up and go into top speed acceleration, at top speed max velocity, you need to keep the arms a little bit tighter and do more closed angles at the elbows. But I find for myself personally, when I have much more straight arms on arm swings, I feel like I can put more force in. I can really like open up and use my shoulders more, but let's try it on the right leg. See if it looks any better. A little bit more control on this one. 5 strides, 6 strides. That felt okay. I've been experimenting with adding the toe drag in. I find that sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of track coaches say it's not necessary. A lot of track coaches are like, yep, toe drag all the way, toe drag all the way. Main reason I'm against it is because it fucks up my shoes. Even on athletics track, it will still wear down the tips of your toes. And on concrete like this, it definitely will. Need to get those feet placed a little bit further behind. That's better. Nice. What I like to do with 2-point starts, I'm a very hip dominant athlete, so I like to really lean into it and then come up. Some guys like to start up and then come down and then go. each to their own, I guess. I feel most explosive this way. So I'm going to start left leg, then extend out the distance. I'm going to sprint for till about maybe 15 meters, something like 10 strides, we'll say. But let's give it a shot. Went too upright too fast. But arm swings felt nice there for some reason, in a way that they didn't on the kneeling starts. So quite interesting. One thing I'm not 100% certain about with acceleration sprinting is, I know for top speed sprinting, you need at least a minute's rest, or this is what they say, a minute's rest for every 10 meters sprinted. Acceleration sprinting is not as intense, ground contact times aren't as fast, and it's more like muscular action than tendinous, elastic action. Still very elastic, don't get me wrong, but do I need to rest that much if I've just sprinted 10 meters from a dead stop? I don't think it needs a full minute. I think just go when you're ready. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's get the other leg. Let's give this a shot. I definitely feel better pushing off my right leg from a 2-point start and a 3-point start. Let's see if it feels this way today. Nice explosive knee drive. Focusing on keeping my ankle dorsiflexed as well, so not letting my toe drop, keeping everything flexed, so hip, knee, and ankle all flexed, ready to hit the ground on the next stride. Nice. More forwards. That's better. One more. Good. So, something I've been experimenting with on my 3-point starts recently is tucking myself up a little bit more, flexing my lower back slightly so that I can really feel into that glute on the front leg, the driving leg. Maybe that's stupid, but it feels good. I'm not trying to keep my back like super extended. I'm not trying to like keep my back like this so I can push. I'm actually letting myself tuck up a little bit tighter. Not with my legs, but just with that part of my hip, my back. Let's give it a go. I felt quite happy with that. I'll probably watch it back later and be like, what the fuck was I thinking? But it's a process. Training is a long-term process, and gains are always marginal, and you're looking for small gains. You're not looking for huge leaps and bounds. Because if you're in it for the long haul, and you're trying to train for years and years, decades and decades, then you should be very happy if you make tiniest little gain, because you only get big gains at the start, newbie gains, but you should be content with training and just being on a plateau for a very long time, because eventually, law of diminishing returns, your inputs for training aren't going to be giving you those massive, massive returns that you get in the first 2, 3, 4 years of training. One other benefit of doing like high frequency, short duration training sessions is you just get so much more practice of the skill. I would rather train 4 or 5 times a week, 15, 20 minutes a session on each skill, than twice a week for an hour or 2 hours. You just get so much more exposure to the stimulus and the very specific motor patterns of that skill that you learn it so much faster. And that is all skill acquisition is about. It's just repetition, 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 reps on reps on reps. If you want to get good at a skill, practice it as frequently as you possibly can. Okay, that one felt nice. That one felt fast. Probably won't look fast. Probably won't look fast. But I'm not comparing myself to elite sprinters or anyone, even amateur sprinters. I'm trying my best not to compare myself to anyone, really, because ultimately that doesn't serve my training. Sometimes comparing yourself to someone may improve the quality of your training, but A lot of the time it's like, oh, look at them, they're doing this, they're the same age as me, or they're this many more years advanced into their training. Cool, that's great for them. And you can celebrate that because it can show you a vision of what your athleticism could look like in a few months or years if you work really hard at it. But ultimately, the best and only comparison you should be really thinking about is comparing yourself and your performance to your performance in the past. Oh, last rep was a little bit grindy. Wasn't super happy with my back position, but I'll take that for a set of 5. Let's get this last rep. Make it feel good. Not today. All right, 7 reps at 200 kilos off the pads. I'm cool with that. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe if you got value out of this video. Come along for the journey. I'm enjoying the long-term mastery process of improving your athleticism through the means of sprinting, jumping, and weightlifting. Other than that, peace out.